Human beings, you and I, have three states of existence. One, waking state. We don't have to explain waking state. I think we know what waking state is. Although many a time we are also not fully awake. You know why? When I am listening to something or doing something and my mind is elsewhere, I am not fully awake. One has to perfect oneself even in the waking state. I think if you are perfect in the waking state, the other states will fall in place. Because, see, deep sleep, we have no control. Dream, we have no control. Waking, yes, we have. So, to touch any of these states described and discussed, we need to perfect the waking state. Because that is the only thing that we have in our hands. What do I mean by perfecting? That means we have five senses. Be alert with all the five senses. It won't help if you shut them off. Be alert, because when you listen carefully, fully with complete attention, not only the ear is listening, but the mind is also listening. Can you imagine? The ear can be open, but if your mind is somewhere else, there is no listening taking place. There may be basically comparisons. Very often we don't listen to anything because we are comparing. So and so said something, so and so said something, now this guy says. So half our energy is spent on that comparison. It's not listening. The whole trick is done if you are really listening carefully. So the ear is so important, the senses are so important, and they work only when you are awake, waking state. Which is why truth in the Vedas is called the Shruti, that which is heard. And when the Shruti or the Vedic teachings are heard properly with an unprejudiced mind, straight, in one split second you have understood what it is all about. So, waking state, while we discuss dream, deep sleep, turiya, the only thing in our hands at the moment is the waking state. Other states we can speculate, but we don't have it with us right now. So therefore, the sound ah, which represents the waking state, is as important or perhaps more important than anything else. Because even if a change has to take place, it has to take place in the waking state. It cannot take place in any other, because we have no control over the dream and deep sleep. It has to take place now. Therefore, keep everything clear and one-pointed. One-pointed attention is essential because we are studying something so important that we cannot afford to have one part of the mind here and another part on which hamburger you are going to eat next. You need to stay where you are. So one-pointed attention is important. Which, when can it happen? Only in waking state. Now the other thing, we discuss Shushupti and Turiya. They seem so similar, but the only difference is that in Turiya one is aware, while in Shushupti one is not. Right? Now why is it that one is not aware in deep sleep? Because we have various desires that control our mind and not allow it to be free. If we are free of that, knowing that the waking state is similar to the dream state, and when the waking state is gone, the dream state becomes real. When the dream state is gone, the waking state becomes real. Then we look at things in a different way. So what I am trying to say is, in this waking state, if the mind has become calm and quiet and understands that there is no point in rushing around, you need to settle the mind down and be quiet. Such a settled mind which is quiet and which has discovered that the only thing to be desired is the peace and the happiness and the bliss that are within, Now such a mind, when it goes into deep sleep, it awakes into Turiya. Now the training can only be done in waking state. You can't do it there because you have no control there. I hope you understand what I am trying to say. The Mandukya Upanishad is not teaching that you should continue to sleep and you will go into Turiya. This cannot happen. In that way, all lazy guys would have touched Turiya already, all sleeping all the time. That's not what it means. It means keep your mind sharp, quiet. Now, this is where we need to. The yoga shastras, the science of yoga, teaches you how to bring this about in the waking state. And it's only through this that one can touch that which Vedanta has been describing all the time. So, what does the Yoga Sutra say? Yoga's chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is the silencing of the vrittis or the fluctuations of the mind. That's all. No other connotation. When you say yoga, it means, according to Patanjali, it's the stilling of all the distractions of the mind, all the tensions and contradictions and tensions that happen. Stilling that is the practice of yoga. So what happens when it is stilled? The mind is fully awake and is not caught up in anything. Such a mind, when it goes to sleep, into deep sleep, it awakes into Turiya. Till then it is caught up, bundled up, it's still in deep sleep. However, I am saying again, you cannot touch Turiya through deep sleep, not possible. You can touch it through wakefulness, fully awakened.